So this is Algebra 1, Semester 1. It's the unit called Systems, number 4, and it's a lesson called DESMOS.com Practice, DESMOS.com Practice, and it's the first lesson. It's on CreatorMath.com under the Algebra 1 tab. You might have to Google CreatorMath.weebly.com to find the site. I'll show you that in a second. The instructions are copy the following problems into your composition book on the correct pages according to the table of contents with the notes for those pages from CreatorMath.com. So I do try to model this. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but you got to get to the website, CreatorMath.weebly.com, and then you've got to find where the notes are. And that is not that easy. All right, so I try to show you with each of these problem sets, I try to show you how to get there. All right, so here's the site name, creatormath.weebly.com. Google that. All right, so go home. This is what you should get when you click on that from Google. If you have any questions on the composition book, you guys, you are always asking me about composition books all through the semester, and that's fine. But I want you to know all the answers are on creatormath.weebly.com. Just scroll down until you see composition book. I promise if you read this and you watch these videos and you adhere to these turn-in dates and you put all these things on the right pages, including the notes, which we're going to go to in 1 second right here, you're going to have a 90 to 100% on your composition book. And you're going to have a great system for being able to take notes even when you get to college. All right, so under the tab, there's 4 things. There's the vocabulary, there's problem sets like we're doing now, the videos which we're making now, and the notes which go in your comp book. If you're not getting 100% on the vocabulary practices, you may not know that there is a complete list of vocabulary under the tab for the class, and it is downloadable to your device. Just Google, how do I search a PDF on whatever type of device you have. Follow their directions. It's a little bit different per device. Now we're going to go for the semester number that's relevant. In this case, it's the video we're making, but it would be the class you're in. So this one matches up with this semester here. Here's the table of contents. This all should be written, the entire table of contents, it's about 3.5 pages long, should be written on pages 2 through 6 of your composition book. If you haven't done that yet, please stop what you're doing now and go back and do that. Why is it so important? Because it's got the page numbers of where every single thing goes in the comp book. How else can I check your comp book if you don't follow those page numbers, right? It would be all over the place. And so you would start with the video, how to number the pages of your composition book. So now we're going to find the right unit. Here's the unit, Systems. Here are the lessons within it. There's 7 lessons within it. We're on the first. Here are the notes that you click to find notes. DESMOS.com is the name of this lesson. First and foremost, here are the pages where the notes go. Please don't take this video's word for it, but go back and find the original table of contents. At the time you're viewing this, these page numbers probably will have changed. So we're going to click notes in a second and go over those. The problem set is the one I'm going in this video, if everything works right, should be linked there. All right, so when opening the notes, I have to click it twice sometimes, you guys, or it doesn't open. There we go. And this one cleared up quickly, so it depends on my internet speed and I don't know what. Maybe the memory in my phone or something. I have no idea, okay? But sometimes I have to load it twice. So this is going to talk about going to DESMOS.com and graphing. If you've been following these units and lessons up to this unit number 4 we're in right now, then you've used DESMOS before, so this won't be brand new to you. I am going to show it as we go through the problems. And what are we talking about? We're talking about systems of equations. So what is a system? A system is 2 or more graphs on the same graph, right? Just think of 2 lines graphed. And what we're really interested in is where these 2 lines cross. That's the critical point there, called the solution. Here it is in the notes. Put these in your comp book. The intersection of the 2 graph lines is the solution. In this case, it's a coordinate location of 1, 2. So coordinates, remember, you go out on the x and then up on the y. This one's 1, 2, and this one's even graphed by hand. No graph paper or anything. It's still pretty clear because the equations we used were kind of straightforward. All right, so find the intersection of 2 lines, 4x minus 1 and negative x plus 9. Y equals is what we type into DESMOS 2. Here are the steps. Put those in your notes. I'm going to go over them in the actual problems we do. What's a system? What's a linear? It's a line. What's a solution? It's where the 2 lines cross. And DESMOS.com is sort of the accepting graphing tool we like to use and a lot of math teachers use. Okay, so if you learn it here, it's probably applicable to other math classes. With that said, let's move to the problems, all right? What's a system of equations? What's a system? So two equations on the same graph, right? You got a graph and you got a line and a line, and what we're really interested in is where these things cross, okay? Remember the graph has an x and y axes. That's always built in. That's foundational to graphing. It will always be a horizontal number line that is the x-axis. It will always be a vertical number line that is the y-axis. It never changes, all right? And that'll help your brain sort of graph from year to year. I find that the difficulty students have is not learning math, but maybe remembering math. And remembering it correctly. I often have students remember it incorrectly. So the challenge of math is just a strange one. What is the solution to the system? That's where they cross, okay? Where the two equations cross or intersect, that is, have the same solution. So we're so fascinated by this, and it is applicable to real life because this is like a break-even point. You know, if you start a business and you spend $100 to buy materials, you don't break even until you make your first $100. The first $100 goes to pay back the expenses you already spent. Until you hit $101, you're at the break-even point at 100, or right before it, you're at a loss. So that's kind of what this idea represents of these two equations crossing in a solution. That's the name of that point, all right? Using DESMOS.com, what's the solution to the two equations? So now they give us two equations, they tell us to go to DESMOS, and we got to find and see if it's 1, 2. I already know it is because my correct answer shows up on top all the time. Can I still see? Let's try to see the 2. Here are the 2 we're going to graph. Okay, go back, go here, here. Okay, pretty quick. This time, let's clear out this one, and let's clear out this one. Let's start over. So here's how you type it in. You need the y equals in DESMOS, as you know if you've been doing this, but let's do it again. Y equals x plus 1. Here's an x plus 1, and this will graph it for you. Oh, remember the old days when they made you plot point after point after point? You don't have to do that anymore. Just go to DESMOS and graph this thing, right? Then we want the second. Click right below the first, and it opens a second line, and you can graph as many as you want here. I'm probably unlimited, just based on the capacity of the phone or whatever. So y equals negative 2x plus 4. Y equals negative 2x plus 4. There we go. There's my second line. And here's the all-important point. If you hit home, you can't see it. It'll help recenter everything for you. But these are two lines graphed, the two that we have here, the y equals x plus 1 and the y equals negative 2x plus 4. And what we're interested in is this point. And if you click on it, 1, 2. It'll even tell you where it is. And just to confirm it, here's 0, here's 2. So this has got to be 1. We go on the x first, 1. And then we go up on the y, 1, 2. And that's a coordinate location. Most of you have been working with this for quite some time, so just review it if you forgot it. But this is 1, 2. And that's our solution here, 1, 2. So this whole lesson is just, learning how to type it into DESMOS so that when we get to more complicated problems, we can do those too and have our tech do it for us, all right? So let's move to the next. This one's 4x minus 1 and negative x plus 9. I'm just going to modify what I've got. So I'm going to put a 4 in front of this. 4x minus 1. Minus 1. Let's get rid of this. There we go. 4x. Where's my x? There we go. 4x minus 1. So check it over. And we have a negative x plus 9. So let's go negative x plus 9. Okay, and let's hit home because I don't see where they're crossing right here. Whoops. There we go. That might be a little better for you, but I can't see where they're crossing. Click home, you guys, and that'll at least center it back to see where this intersection is or solution. Click it twice, and it tells you it's at 2, 7. So it's 2, 7. All right, and the other lessons we'll graph these by hand, and we'll get more complicated ones, etc. All right, but for now, this is what we've got. Here are the next pair, x plus 1. And you can do more than this, but in Algebra 1, we'll only do systems with 2 equations. X plus 1. There we go. And x plus 1 and negative 2x plus 4. Negative 2x plus 4. All right. Hit home to see where the intersection is. Click 1, 2, and circle 1, 2 here. All right. Can you see all that? Pretty much. Now I'm going to do the next set here. Let's do 4x minus 1 put a 4, make this minus 1 again, minus 1, make this negative x plus 9. Looks like this one right up here. These look the same to me. Alright. 4x minus 1 and negative x plus 9. Okay, so nothing too complicated about this, just learning how to graph, getting comfortable with this, and it's a little bit easier for me. It's going to take you probably a little bit longer to do these, right, because you're going to have to play around with it a little bit. Anyway, make sure you're matching up the title of the video with the practice set you're actually doing so it makes sense. Algebra 1, Semester 1, it's a unit called Systems, number 4, and it's a lesson called DESMOS.com Practice, and it's lesson number 1 within that unit. All right, it's on CreatorMath.com under the Algebra 1 tab. Hope that helps.